Hey guys, I'm back and hopefully better than ever. I was going to post this 2 weeks ago, but then reality gave me a hard right to the face, and I had a whole bunch of delays, including initially losing most of this footage. Regardless, we're gonna dive right in with the hottest member of Team Urameshi.
Dragon! The darkness
Hiei might be short, but he's definitely got the most attitude and a fairly intricate backstory that you don't learn until the latter parts of the series or through his sister Yukina. I'm not going to lie, I was a Hiei fangirl for most of high school, and since I can't use an open fire pit, and believe me, I wanted to, I needed something to represent Hiei's spicy attitude and soft, gooey inside, however small it may be. This is Blackfire Lamb, spice-rubbed marinated rack of lamb with warm apple, daikon, and fennel salad, with black tea rice and feta cheese with Campari ragu. Fair warning, this recipe might be shorter than most of my other ones, but it is a bit more expensive. It's a small shout out to Yukina and the fact that I couldn't pull off an apple semifredo. The first step is, you guessed it, our rice. Bring 4 cups of black tea to a boil. You can use any tea you like, but I use chai, English breakfast, and gunpowder teas. I season the tea with cinnamon sticks, kosher salt, cardamom, ginger, orange zest, star anise, bay leaf, and nutmeg. Now I know you guys like to have specific amounts of things, but the point of recipes like this is to give you something that you can develop your own taste for. As opposed to baking, cooking with specific amounts can really limit your experience. I don't want that to happen. Add 1.5 cups of Asian black rice, and bring the heat down to medium. Black rice is a glutinous rice with strong flavor and therefore needs strong seasoning. Cover it, but stir it periodically until all of the tea is absorbed. While your rice is cooking, start on your meat. Make a marinade of Dijon mustard, sriracha, Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce, celery seed, minced garlic, and minced ginger. This marinade has a lot of heat behind it. Carve the fat cap and silver skin off of your rack of lamb. It's in your best interest to go ahead and buy your rack of lamb already Frenched, because frankly, Frenching a rack of lambs is bloody annoying. Thoroughly oil your rack of lamb, bones included, because the bones can burn in the oven. Apply a liberal coating of salt, and sear it on high heat. Now if you look closely, you'll see that I already covered the rack of lamb in its marinade before I seared it. That was a mistake. Don't be like me, kids. Cover your rack of lamb only after you've seared it. If you like your rack of lamb medium, then put it on 400 for 5 minutes. Next we have our veggies and our ragu. If you time it out properly, you can cook them both one right after the other in the same pan. Your warm salad will consist of daikon, fennel, and apples. Julienne, each fruit and vegetable. Hiei wields a sword, so I want to see some fine knife work out there, people. For your ragu, you're going to need garlic, Campari tomatoes cut into fourths or eighths, however big you want your tomato chunks to be, julienne shallots, and basil chiffonade. Start with your ragu first, adding your garlic and sweating it. Now add 1/4 to 1/2 cup of red wine. Nothing special, just a cheap table wine or even boxed wine will do. Reduce until it's almost dry. Add your tomatoes and shallots. Then once they break down and start releasing all those delicious juices, add your basil. I chose a red sauce similar for the same reason I gave a red sauce to Kurama. It symbolizes all the blood they must have spilled throughout their lives. Don't let that put your appetite off, though. On medium heat, your ragu will not take long, so keep an eye on it. Take it off the eye and place it in a dish that does not conduct heat. Give it a firm wipe down with a wet cloth. Put your pan back on the eye and put it up to high heat. Sauté your fennel first, then once it's caramelized, carefully add your daikon with a little bit of soy sauce. Just like with my previous recipes, keep an eye on your daikon, it does not take long to cook. Cooking your apples separately isn't a requirement. However, if you want to make them considerably sweeter in this dish, then it's best that you do. Feel free to add a little bit of salt and brown sugar to the mix. In a way, Granny Smith apples are a lot like Hiei. They're not exactly sweet and never really that giving, but sometimes they can just be a little less sour. See guys, we're already at the home stretch. Short and not so sweet, just like Hiei. The basic rules still apply here. Make sure your rack of lamb rests for 10 minutes before you start to carve it. And carving is simple, just follow the bones. Alright guys, let's put this bad boy together. Even though I couldn't pull the resources to roast this over an open fire, I still feel this embodies Hiei in the fact that the flames are represented in an entire different way, with mean, needling heat throughout the entire dish, with a little bit of the apples on the side to cool down your palate. I used a rack of lamb in this dish because I wanted something tender, but primal at the same time. Just like this dish, just because Hiei is short, doesn't mean he isn't dangerous. In fact, he's the most dangerous. He is one bad mother, shut your mouth. And I know you see that red butter sauce on top. If you want to know how I did it, you gotta come back and see me. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Shout out to the people who commented on my Kurama video. You guys are the best. Please follow me on Instagram and Tumblr. The links are below. You'll get a lot of goodies that you don't get here. Next week, I'll be posting a video discussing all the techniques I used for this series, and I'll also be discussing the future of the channel. A lot has happened in 2 weeks, guys. Stay tuned, and stay weird. Happy eating.